Wow, as Matt said, I'm Maria. Hi, everyone. I will now take you over to Australia and this beautiful place that maybe some of you have heard of before. Maybe you've been Tangalooma Island Resort on Moreton Island, just off the coast of Brisbane. So this place is often an addition to any itinerary going to Brisbane or the Gold Coast or the Sunshine Coast. It's a really fantastic place where you can indulge in a variety of water-based as well as land-based activities. And it is quite accessible as well. So you can see here on the map, we're located in Queensland, and this is where Tangalooma is. So we're well down in the southeast of Queensland. It's quite easy to get there. The most common way that we find people get over to Tangalooma on Moreton Island is if you're in Brisbane City, you take a transfer over or just a taxi to the wharf, where the ferry leaves to go over to Tangalooma. So you get 15 minutes plus 75 minutes then ferry transfer over to Moreton Island. However, if you're coming from Brisbane Airport, it's also quite easy. You can see here it's just 10 minutes transfer down to the wharf, and then again, the 75 minutes over to the island. And if you're combining an itinerary for your clients that includes the Sunshine Coast or the Gold Coast, there is a variety of domestic airports as well from where you can transfer. So this is why it's a really, really great addition to any of those itineraries going towards Brisbane. So why is Tangalooma so popular as an addition? Well, the main thing that we find our guests visit Tangalooma for are the various different activities. So there is so much that you can do here. Just to give an example, I mentioned some land-based activities, so such as quad biking, desert safari tours. We also have northern bus tour that gives you more of an opportunity to explore the rest of the island as well, not just Tangalooma. Snorkeling is also something that's extremely popular here. We find our guests always book this activity. If you look here at this photo at the top right, we actually have 15 shipwrecks, which is where most of our clients go to snorkel. There is also over 200 species of fish. So it's a really fantastic and fun way for you to explore those, feed the fish as well, do some snorkeling around. Just to point out as well, those shipwrecks have been specifically sunk for this activity over the space of 30 years. So it's extremely safe to snorkel around. And of course, snorkeling is not the only way to see the shipwrecks and also to explore the island. We also offer scenic flights over the island. There's also kayaking tour, marine discovery tour, which gives you the chance to not only swim around the shipwrecks, but you also get to see dugongs, dolphins, sea turtles, and also various seabirds as well. So that's just one of the many ways of what you can do on the island and explore. Oh, is this moving? So just a second here to mention, oh, sorry, this is going too fast. Just a second to mention also conservation. So we have an eco center at Tangalooma, which was formed back in 1994, and it's run by a really passionate team of eco rangers. So those guys that you see here are eco rangers. The idea is that we want to educate all of our guests staying with us about the conservation and the protection of the marine and the wildlife. So what you can see when you're walking throughout the resort every day is our eco rangers feeding some of the local birds, telling more. So there is the, as we call them, walks and talks, which are completely free of charge and a really fun way for your guests to learn a little bit more of the history of the resort and also the various wildlife that inhabits it. So another thing that's quite popular, and perhaps you've heard of it before, is the dolphin feeding that happens at Tangalooma. So we've been extremely lucky since 1981. We have the same family of dolphins that's been gradually growing over the years. They're wild dolphins, completely wild, swimming every day at sunset time to the shore of Tangalooma. And if you go there and you're there at this time, you get the chance to feed the dolphins. So it's an absolutely incredible incredible experience. I've done it myself as well. It's really amazing. You have a marine biologist standing there with you the whole time. You go into the water maximum up to your waist height, and you're given fish that you feed the dolphin with. And of course, the marine biologist in the meantime tells you more about the dolphin that you're feeding, and just overall a little bit more about the family tree that we have there, and the various ways of how the dolphins feed, and basically more about the history as well. So really, really fun activity again. And on top of the dolphin feeding, we're also quite popular for whale watching. So actually a fun fact that perhaps not so many people are really aware of is that Tangalooma is part of the migration route of the eastern herd of humpback whales. It's absolutely incredible. So between June to October, there are 20,000 humpback whales swimming by. So you're basically almost guaranteed to not just see one when you go to watch them, you see more than one most of the times. Still, we have a really great policy in place that if for any reason your client didn't see a whale, we would give them their money back. But as I said, during June to October, you're pretty much guaranteed that you will see more than one whale whilst you're on a whale watching cruise. And another thing to mention here as well is that we've been running those whale watching tours for 34 years now. And I think often people who are staying in and around Brisbane don't realize that this is the closest place to Brisbane for your clients to watch whales. And often they think that they have to transfer to various other places to be able to take part in such activities. So just remember this, that if you're in and around Brisbane, this is your closest place to do some whale watching. And the accommodation on the island and within the resort, I won't go into too much detail. I'll just say we're contracted with all key ITOs. So whoever you're working with for Australia bookings, I can guarantee you would have the rates pulling through. But basically, we have a variety of accommodation from more simplistic hotel rooms looking over the sea to family suites. We also have different villas. And more luxurious style apartments as well. So really something different for every type of budget, every type of client segment as well. These apartments, for example, the deep blue apartments are something that the UK market specifically requests most of the time. So that's just also good to remember. And in terms of the food and wine dining, we have 6 different restaurants, bars. There's also a cafe. There is a shop as well. So there's really enough for your guests to try out every day. You can easily be staying here for 3 nights at least if you were to combine all the different activities that we have and experiences, and you would always have the option to choose to eat in a different place. And this is where I'll leave it. Just one more thing to say, so that I didn't mention in the beginning, the Tangalooma Island Resort is the only resort on Moreton Island, and it takes 5% of the entire resort. So it just gives you an idea how big the island is. There are other things that you can do there as well, and you can book those with Tangalooma as you get there or in advance, but we also offer bus rides throughout the island that gives you more of an experience and background of what else you can do there. So this is where I'll leave it, and I'll try to run my polls now. Just a second. Right, I think that should be displaying. So Tangalooma Island Resort. Can you see it actually, Matt? Can you see this? Because it's...
No, we can't see that yet.
No, hold on. There we go. What about now?
Yeah, we can see that.
Perfect. So Tangalooma Island Resort, situated on which Queensland island? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well done. So Moreton Island is the right answer. Moreton Island is the island and Tangalooma is the resort on this island. Well done. Okay, second question. So how long does it take to travel from Brisbane City to Tangalooma Island Resort? Is it 15 minutes transfer to the wharf and 75 minutes by ferry? Is it 1 hour by car to the wharf and 75 minutes ferry, or 1 hour car to the wharf and 2 hours ferry? Okay, just a second. Okay. Yes, well done again. It's 15 minutes transfer to the wharf where the ferry leaves and takes you to Tangalooma for 75 minutes, correct? Next question. So, popular day tours at the resort include snorkeling, quad bike, desert safari, northern safari, bus tour, marine discovery tour, kayak tour, or all of the above. Okay, almost done here. Yes, well done to everyone, 100%. Correct, all of the above. Next one. Up to how many wild dolphins visit the shores of Tangalooma each evening at sunset? 13, 7, or 3? Okay, almost there. I think just a couple more people that we're waiting for. Okay, yes, correct. 13 is the right answer. We have 13 dolphins that come around to the shore of Tangalooma. And last question. So Moreton Bay is the closest whale watching experience from Brisbane. What time of the year do Tangalooma whale watching tours run? August to September, June to October, or June to July? I think we just have a couple of people that we're waiting for. Yes, correct. Well done. June to October is the main season. Great. Well, thank you very much. Back to you, Matt.